Jai Ganesh. Hello students. Welcome to my English class 10, The Villagers by Premchand. You know that man is the finest creation of God. Man is a rational animal which is guided by his own conscience. Conscience plays an important role in pronouncing a judgment. While pronouncing a judgment, one sees no difference between friends and enemies. It is often said that the voice of a judge is the voice of the God. So in the courts, usually the advocates or pleaders say, "My lord" to the judges, because the voice of the judge is the voice of God. So godly feeling is evoked in the heart of a judge. So the pronouncement of a right and a just judgment is heaven. Pronouncement of wrong and unjust judgment is hell. So this is an interesting story, The Villagers by Premchand. Let us listen the story. I think you will enjoy. You see, Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary were great friends. Each trusted each other completely. Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary, though Juman was a Muslim, Algu was a Hindu, but they were good friends. They did never have any quarrel before. And Juman loved Algu Chaudhary very much. Algu also trusted Juman Sheikh too. So they were great friends. They never had any conflict or quarrel before. Okay. And Juman Sheikh had an old aunt and she had a small piece of property. Juman had persuaded her to transfer the property to his name. So long as it was not done, and Juman and his wife Kariman they treated him very well. Okay, and Juman and always persuaded the old aunt to transfer her piece of property, a small piece of property, to his name. And they when their property was transferred to Jumon's name, both Jumon and his wife Koriman treated very harshly, became harsh and rude towards the old aunt. So old aunt said to Jumon that I can't go on like this anymore. You should give me some money and I shall cook and eat separately. But Juman Sheikh got angry and said, money does not grow on trees here. So on said that threatened that I shall call a panchayat to decide the case. And Juman and Pariman, Juman also said to do the same. Now, old on went to villages and lastly she also went to Algu Chaudhary and there was the panchayat. The panchayat sat in the one day in the one evening under the tree and Alku Chaudhary also went there and Juman and other villagers, senior villagers were there to decide the Juman and aunt case. Alku Chaudhary said Juman would be the chief judge of the Panchayat. Juman Sheikh was very happy, extremely happy. He thought that Algu was his close friend, so he would win the case. But when Algu Chaudhary became the judge, initially he did not want to be the judge. But when he became the judge, and the aunt said, son, nobody can sell his conscience for friendship. Do you fear the loss of friendship? No. So that all was changed, and Algu Chaudhary became the chief judge. And Algu Chaudhary asked Juman Sheikh a lot of questions. And he asked so many questions that Juman Sheikh found difficult to answer. And finally, Algu Chaudhary gave the judgment that Juman Sheikh The elders have considered this matter. They think it proper that one should have a monthly allowance. This is our decision. If you do not agree to pay the monthly expenses, then the property should be returned to her. Okay. And this judgment broke their relationship. Juman Sheikh got angry, wanted to take revenge. Algu Chaudhary had a pair of bullocks, and after the judgment, 1 month of the judgment, almost one of his bullocks died, and he thought that Juman poisoned. His wife thought that he was behind the case, and he wanted to sell that, and Samjusa wanted to buy that bullock, and he said he promised to give the price in a month's time. And Juman and Samtu Sahu was the businessman who carried the eka, drive an eka to the town. So he treated the bullock harshly and took more than 3 trips a day. He did not give food and water, so the bullock died. Algu went to ask the price of the bullock. Human said, Shamju said that he had given a dying bullock. Why should he pay? And then Algu Chaudhary called a panchayat for this. And this time, Shamju said, Juman Sheikh would be the punch. And Juman Sheikh, when Juman Sheikh became the punch sarpanch or panch, he said, he think to himself, I am now a judge. Whatever I say now will be the voice of God. I should stick to the truth, nothing but the truth. And Juman Sheikh gave the judgment that Algu Chaudhary and and Shamsu Shah. The elders have considered your case carefully. Shambhu Shah, Shamju, or to pay the full price of the bullock. The bullock died only because it was driven too hard and no proper arrangement was made to feed it. Algu Chaudhary was extremely happy and shouted, Long live the God that is the Pancha. Okay, so Algu Juman Sheikh, after the decision, Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary embraced each other, and Juman Sheikh said, Brother, after you gave your decision, I had become your mortal enemy, but today I feel sure that God Himself speaks through the Pancha. So, from this story, we came to know that this is really that the villagers, the voice of the judge is the voice of the God. So let us do the activity 1. From the activity 1, the objective questions. Who were the two close friends in the story? Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary were the two close friends in the story. And how did Juman and his wife treat aunt after she had given her property to them? Juman and his wife Kariman became harsh and rude to the old aunt when she had given her property to them. Question number 3. What did the aunt decide to do? The aunt decided to call a panchayat to decide the case. Question number 4. Who was selected as the main judge in the first panchayat? Algu Chaudhary was selected as the main judge in the first panchayat. What was the judgment? Juman Sheikh had to pay the monthly expenses to old aunt. If he failed, then the property he should transfer the property to her. Question number 6. What happened to the relationship between Juman and Algu Chaudhary after the judgment? The judgment broke up the relationship between Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary. What did Algu think after the death of one of his bullocks? Algu suspected that Juman had poisoned his bullock. Who was the puncher in the second panchayat? Juman Sheikh was the puncher in the second Panchayat. Question number 9. What was the judgment of the second puncher? Shamju Shah ought to pay the full price of the bullock to Algu Chaudhary. The bullock died only because it was driven too hard and no proper arrangement was made to feed it. Which character do you like the best in the story? I like the character we like the best in the story is Algo Chaudhary. Let us do activity 2. Juman Sheikh had persuaded his aunt to transfer the property to his name. Money does not grow on trees here. Who said this? Juman Sheikh said this. Will you hesitate to say the honest thing? The old aunt said to Algu Chaudhary. Das was the puncher. Algu Chaudhary was the puncher in the Juman old aunt case. The puncher is nobody's friend and enemy. God lives in the heart of the puncher. Shamju promised Algu to pay off the price of the bullock in a month's time. The animal was dead, tried by day's work. The story Village Judge was written by Premchand. The story explores the system of justice in the village. Okay, so let us do activity 3. Put the following sentences in the order to get the summary. Juman Sheikh treated his old aunt badly after she gave her property to him. This is the first sentence. Juman Sheikh treated his old aunt badly after she gave her property to him. Then you see question number 9 is the second one. So his aunt called for a punch and finally Algu Chaudhary became the chief judge. Then you see number 2 is the third one. Algu's judgment was in favor of the old woman. You see next question number 5 is 4. Juman was very angry and decided to take revenge on Algu. Okay. Number 8 is 5. Soon after the judgment, one of Algu's bullocks died and he sold the other to Samju Sahu. Then you see Samju Sahuji treated the bullock badly and it died. Now the bullock was dead. He refused to pay the money to Algu. Now a pancho was called where Juman was the chief judge. He decided in favor of Algu. All the people praised the punch. You see, you have read the story The Villagers by Premchand is very interesting and exciting one which carries a moral lesson that the voice of the judge is the voice of the God. When we are pronouncing a good judgment, we should use our conscience. We should be careful to give a right and judicious judgment. Okay, thank you very much. Best of luck.